guys, I am back to do my mid-month reading wrap-up for the month of April 2020. In March, I started doing wrap-ups, but my wrap-up video for the full month was ridiculously long. So I told myself I was going to break these things up to make it not as long. Although, frankly, looking at that stack, it's probably going to be just as long for the halfway mark, because there was the Manga Madness Readathon, which I participated in. But yeah, let's get going. This is all the manga and all the books that I read from the 1st through the 15th of April. First off, we'll do the first few manga that I read before the Manga Madness Readathon happened, and I ended up reading the 8th volume of The Girl from the Other Side. I know this manga's dark, but this manga keeps getting darker and darker. So this is about a girl who, there's a plague that's going around, and for some reason it's turning humans into these creatures called others, I think. Can't remember, but the Shiva is a girl that for some reason is on the outside and doesn't seem to be getting this for some reason, and they're trying to figure out like the humans that are still like alive and they're like locked themselves in like castles and stuff to like hide away from the creatures on the other side. Like she's on the other side with one of these creatures who she calls her teacher, and it's like them together. And yeah, this one got really dark and got really sad, and it's really good, but like right now it's really sad, and yeah. So next off, I ended up reading the 6th volume of Sorry for My Familiar. This is a cute one. If you want like a cute little humor one, this is like the perfect one for it. It's basically Patty, who's like a demon, who ends up getting a human familiar, which is Norman, and all Norman's interested in is learning about other demons and monsters and everything else. He's got like a notebook and he researches all of them, and he's like science, and he, like bullheads into everything and like causes so much trouble for them because he just wants to learn about everything. And it's Patty trying to find her father, and like the misadventures that they are having right now. So with this one, they are trying to do the familiar registration test so that Norman can officially become her familiar, and it goes from there. But yeah, this one's a lot of fun. I don't see a lot of people talking about that one, but if you want like a humor-filled one, that's a really good one. And then the last 2 volumes that I read before the Manga Madness Readathon is I did read the first 2 volumes of Nana at the beginning of the month. This one I ended up getting from Shae, from Shaekgeeksout, who actually got it from Bazaar, and she didn't like it. So I agree, I did not like the first volume. The first volume just kind of introduced both Nanas and throat. One of the Nanas is, I can understand she's kind of childish, and people don't probably like her because of that. But the other Nana is like cool, confident, she's like a rock star and everything else. And they both end up moving to Tokyo for different reasons and meet up, and it's like them meeting up together. I will say the second one is so much better than the first one, because this is basically, they've gotten to Tokyo and the Nanas end up getting an apartment together due to circumstances. And it's like their interaction, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, so I can't like complain about it so far. And then the 2 books that I read at the beginning of the month, I read Oasis with Shae. This was our first buddy read. This one is really interesting. It's sci-fi. It's about a girl named Alfie whose father is an archaeologist, and they end up going to Dubai, her and her friends, for like the summer to do like an archaeologist dig with her dad. And then there's like a sandstorm that hits and they get wiped away, and then the group of friends end up in this oasis, and it gets really weird. This is a really weird one. It's like got like, I don't, it's definitely got like a supernatural element. They say it's her new supernatural thriller. Hides a mystery in a plain sight and will keep you guessing till the very end. Yeah, it's a very odd one. It was fine. It was it's hard to explain without getting too spoilery, but it's like very like mind twisty, because like things happen and they're like, did they really happen or didn't they happen, because they really can't remember. So yeah, it gets kind of weird. It's an interesting one. The ending is, it's an ending. Yeah. And then the last one is The Deep, which is, this one was pretty good. This one is a Titanic story. So basically, there is something haunting the Titanic, and you are introduced to several of the characters, well, the people on the Titanic. And this follows Annie, who is one of the maids on the Titanic, and obviously she survives. And years later, she starts working as a nurse on the 6th voyage of the Titanic's sister ship, the Britannic. And it flips back and forth between the Titanic and the Britannic, which I really like. I like when stories flip back and forth. It's got... So it's like, I got it because it was like haunting, but it's like weird haunting. So I mean, it was interesting, but it's not like the haunting that I expect. It's not just like ghosts that you don't like figure out the identity of and things like that. And it's a different kind of paranormal part to it that was really interesting with her, and the dynamic with Mark, which is the guy that she met originally on the Titanic, and somehow he shows back up in the other part. So it's an interesting read. I liked it. I don't think I'd give it 5 stars, because it's just got kind of a little too weird for me. And I tend to like my haunted stuff to be a set type, and it kind of completely deviated off of the haunting thing. So, yeah. Okay, next off. Oh, my throat, guys. Let's try and bang out as much manga as we can, because we're already at like 8 minutes. So these are all the volumes of manga that I read for the Manga Madness Readathon. I read 20 volumes of manga, and we're going to get through them as well as we can, because I don't want like another 30-minute long video for the halfway point. Okay, so Record of the Grand Crest Wars. I read volume 4 and 5. This is... It's basically... I'm like trying to figure out how to like explain this. So it's from the author of The Record of the Lotus Wars, which I think I remember liking back in the day, but it's been a very long time. But this is basically... like there's lords of the lands and everything else, and there's this girl who is mage, and she is trying to find like a lord to serve, and she, because of shit in her past, she wants someone who actually cares about their people, which seems to be a rare commodity in this day and age. So she ends up running into Theo, who is also someone who basically comes from a, like, war-torn land, and he just wants to be able to ultimately, at the end, help save his country from, like, the dictatorship of their lord. So it's Theo becoming a lord, and her helping him become a lord, and, like, the intricacies of the military and things, and how you become a lord, and what you have to do. It's very interesting. It's really hard to explain, but yeah, there's that. Next one is Deco Boko Sugar Days. This is freaking adorable. This is a super cute BL. There is no R word in this. This is just cute and happy and fluffy. They do end up doing it, but everything is consensual, which I really appreciate because it's hard to find in a BL. So it's basically two childhood friends. Like the one protected the other back when they were younger, and then when they got older, the one got taller than the other one, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. So the cute and easygoing one is now over 6 feet in height, and he towers over his protector, and they have crushes on each other, and it's adorable. So yeah. Next one is the second volume of Yuri Is My Job. I had this one shoved in the back, and I like forgot that it was a thing, but I had it. I'm like very behind on this one. I didn't get any more because I didn't want to get any more until I read this one and decided if I wanted to keep reading it. I'm kind of on the fence if I want to keep getting this physically. Maybe I'll get it digitally, but it's basically girls at a cafe, and this cafe is like this weird setup where it's like there's like a big sister and a little sister, and they have to like have this like production in the cafe of the big sister taking care of the little sister, and they have like this whole like, you know, like dynamic that they show in front of the customers to make this cafe like popular and everything. And so it's like the blonde was basically, she always lied, and she always lied to get her way because she thought like she's cute, and she used her cute to get what she wanted. But then the other one, they were like friends like a couple years ago, and then the older one, like there was a falling out when they were younger, and now that they're like older and they're in this cafe, they have to be the little sister and big sister together, and it's fine. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Next one is Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. This is obviously about the sacrifice who ends up becoming the queen to the King of Beasts because he does not sacrifice her. He ends up wanting to marry her, and it's her trials because obviously she is human, which is like something that's just like not a thing that's allowed to happen in this land of beasts. So they don't want their queen to be a human, so there's a lot of his advisors that are basically trying to like trip her up at every step she gets to try and keep going. And right now we're in the middle of, she needed to get her own royal guard, so it was the story about getting her own royal guard, which was cute. And things like that. And then a side story with one of the characters. I think he's trying to save her. It's, I might need to reread this one, but it's really cute. I really like it. It's adorable. The characters are super cute. The human is, she's adorable. The king is actually really cute. I mean, look at this back. So cute. Oh, so cute. So, yeah, it's a cute little one. It's a nice little cute shoujo. The next one I got read is the first volume as Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. I also had this one shoved in the back, and I forgot I had it. It's fine. I'm probably not going to continue getting this one, but I think it came in a box, Manga Spice Cafe box. But yeah, it's basically what it is. The skull-faced bookseller basically works at a bookstore with all these other casting characters and has to help these, like, a lot of the time, people who can't speak Japanese in the bookstore trying to find the manga that they want to find because they're all visiting Japan trying to find, like, their precious manga and things like that. And it was fine, but it wasn't one I wanted to keep up with. The next one I read is Bungo Stray Dogs Volume 14. This continues on with a really freaking twisted storyline. I'm not sure if I like this storyline. It's really weird. But basically this is supernatural. These are people with powers, like supernatural powers, and they're part of a group that like solves cases and things like that. But unfortunately there's a lot of different groups that are after them, like the mafia's after them and all these other groups are after them. And this is another one of the storylines where someone's after them and trying to frame them for things, and ending was whoosh. But yes. Next off, I read Between the Sheets, which is my first Erika Sakasawa, I'm sure I said that wrong, series that I've read. I got this from Bazaar, and it was fine. I mean, I don't know, I just, maybe I'm just not the person for her stories. I mean, it was just like, it was sex for sex sake, and I was just kind of like, eh. So, I don't know, it's probably not one that I'm going to keep. I mean, it's basically about these two women, this one girl who is legitly obsessed with this other girl and like, you know, you should be with me, but she's like, hey, I'm not that way, I like guys and I keep wanting to get a boyfriend. But then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to show you that these boys don't care about you and you should come back with me, so I'm just going to sleep with the boys that you sleep with. And I'm like, okay, fine. So there's that. Next off is Yankees Volume 5. Yankees is adorable. It is just it's cats personified as humans, and it's like a street gang of cats. And this was like the end of like the big battle scene that was happening in the last volume. Did this end? Did they actually end this battle scene? No, I think it also left off on a cliffhanger. Yeah, it did. But yeah, I like it. I mean, it's cats. It's hard for me not to like because it's cats. Okay, next off, Candy Colored Paradox Volume 4. This is a BL about two characters that work for a newspaper? No, magazine. And they get scoops for magazine articles. And it's cute. It's another BL where, you know, everything's very consensual and it's a beautiful, amazing thing. And more people need to read this one because I don't seem to understand why people like to focus on the cringeworthy BL instead of the wholesome BL like this one. People, like, I barely hear anybody talk about this one. But this one just, the one guy's so naive, and this one just kind of continues on with his naivety. He's cute, but he's very, yeah, he's very naive. That's not a word, Lindsay. But yes, so it's basically them following a actor, and because they thought that the actor was actually dating a much younger starlet actor, and it kind of turned into something else, but there was that. Next one I read is The Conditions of Paradise, which is a compilation of Yuri stories. And obviously, yes, it is very mature. It's fine. It was cute. There was a couple stories that I liked better than others. I think my favorite one was the first one, the girls that end up traveling together, because the one's like a free-floating person, and she always travels to different countries to do her work, and they end up following the other one who works just for like some, you know, whatever company, ends up following her because she just loves her and wants to see what she does, and it's cute. There's like a couple stories in here, and they're very nice, and I like them. That was a cute little compilation. I wish they would make more like that. Next up is Hajime My Hero, Volume 6. Ironically, so this one's funny. I feel like I either need to reread it or just stop getting it, even though I keep getting it for some reason, because I just feel confused half the time. Like, there's characters that look very similar in this, and I confuse who is who. But it's basically about this kid who starts dating, I don't think it's his teacher, but it's another teacher. And it's the interaction with them, as well as a couple other side characters, like, getting together, and, like, I guess the teacher lives with a group of other kids. It's a little convoluted, but I keep getting more volumes. I think I've ordered the 7th one. I just keep getting it, so it is what it is. Next up, I read the 5th and the 6th volume of Daytime Shooting Star. This is another cute little shoujo. Girl moves to live with her uncle. Basically just her moving in with a new life. Unfortunately, there's also 2 potential love interests in this one. One of them is he also a teacher? I think he's also a teacher. So many teachers. And then another is an actual student, which I would root for, but it seems like the teacher's winning, unfortunately. So there's that. Next one is the 3rd volume of Little Devils. This is another one I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but it is another cute little one. It's basically a hero who defeated, Satan or whatever. The Devil King defeated the Devil King. And when he defeated the Devil King split off into baby little demons, or devils. And basically God was like, oh, well, dang, that's a thing that happened. Here, hero, babysit these kids. I don't know what to do with them. So the hero is basically babysitting the kids. And it's like these cute little shenanigans of these little tiny adorable children who have demon powers, but, like, don't mean to be evil, and they just kind of accidentally do things. And they're, like, living together, and it's cute. It's cute and fluffy, and it's cute and fluffy. Okay, the manga, we're getting there. Oh my gosh, so much manga. Okay. Snow White and the Red Hair. Volume 5 and 6 I read. This is about, I can't pronounce her name. She is a herbalist. She ends up trying to be bought, like the land that she lives on, like the prince wants her because she's got the red hair that's so pretty. And she runs away, and Zen, who happens to be the 2nd prince? I think he's the 2nd prince. Ends up saving her, and then they form a bond, and so she moves to his town and becomes a royal herbalist at the castle. And it's like her interactions, like their relationship getting together, so to speak, and things like that. They end up going to, ironically, she ends up going to the banquet of the guy who tried to take her originally. And then she gets kidnapped because, shoujo. So, yeah, there's that. It's good. I like it. Okay. And then we've got The Ways of the House Husband. This is just cute. Like, that's all it is. There's only one more volume left. It's a 3-volume series, so it's super cute. But it's a Yakuza guy who ends up retiring, essentially, and then just becomes the house husband. And the wife is working, and he's the one who's doing the grocery shopping and cleaning the house and everything else. And it's his interactions with that, and everyone being like, oh, he's the Yakuza guy. We have to, like, find out what he's doing. And it's like he's just buying vegetables. I mean, it's hilarious. And then the last 2 that I've read for the Manga Madness Readathon is Living Room Matsunagasa, Volume 1 and 2. So this is a one that I read originally digital that then Kodansha put out in physical form. And it's about a high schooler, Miko, who moves to her uncle's boarding house, and then she interacts with all the boarding house people, and the grumpy mother hen Matsunaga-san is the guy, of course. And she starts falling in love with him because this is a shoujo. So if you don't like age gap, this is yet another one of those. But I like it. I think so far they're really cute. They haven't, like, there's nothing to be done right now. She just likes him. But there's that. So anyways, that is everything that I read for the Manga Madness Readathon. I did read a few more things after that. I read the 6th volume of Familia Chronicles episode Lie, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? This is the last volume in this side series, which is all about Lie and how she got to become working at the inn with all the girls, and how, ironically, some of the other girls ultimately got to be working at this inn. This is really cool. If you like the storyline of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and you like that whole, like, look, the inn that they live in, that they work in. Gale, no, what is the inn called? The bar, I mean. But yeah, if you like the whole, like, the mother of the bar and all the cute little cat people and the elf and everyone else who works at this bar, you really like the storyline. It's only 6 volumes, it's not very long. It's basically about how how she went from, like, the Gale Force character to this. So I like it. It was fun, and I'm glad that it ended up very nicely. I then also read Magus of the Library, the 2nd volume. I still haven't gotten the 3rd volume yet, but I will. I just wanted to at least read the 2nd one before I did. This is about a kid, Theo, who is journeying to the great city of Asak to become, like, a librarian, so to speak. And it's his journey there and his trials and tribulations to get there. The art is gorgeous, and the characters, Theo's adorable. It's really cute. If you want, like, it's really text heavy, so if you want, like, a really good, like, thick, you're getting your money's worth volume of manga, this one is it, because this is a big boy, and there's a lot of text. And then the last thing that I read, oh my gosh, this is going to be a 30-minute volume of 30 minutes. Okay, I talk too much. Is The Ancient Magus Bride, The Golden Yarn, and The Silver Yarn. These are the 2 light novels that are currently out. My buddy read The Silver Yarn with Shae, and there was a part 2 from one of the original stories from part 1 in it. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to read The Golden Yarn then too. So I read both of them around the same time. This is basically short stories from the Ancient Magus Bride universe, so it's a whole bunch of different characters that you've kind of, like, learned about from the series, but this is, like, side stories about them. Some of them are definitely better than others, some of them are really creepy. There is the one about the succubus and the old man with the flowers, which is adorable. I mean, it's really nice. If you are an Ancient Magus Bride fan, these are definitely a must-have to read, because you get more of the lore and the stories and learning about the creatures. So if that's something that interests you, I definitely would recommend picking these guys up. I don't think there's any more. I think there's just these 2. But yeah, that's... you're not going to see the top of the stack. That is everything that I read from 1 April to 15 April. That's it. So much reading. But anyways, I don't think the second half of this is going to be near as long, because I think I'm frankly burned out by manga, so I haven't been reading that much manga since this. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my wrap-up, the mid-month wrap-up for April 2020. I will see you guys later for the next video. Everyone have a very good rest of the day. Bye!